So, this short video is designed to help you learn how to play the game of badminton. What you see on your screen is simply a diagram or an outline of a particular badminton court. Let's talk a little bit about the different lines that you're looking at. These are the baselines. The baseline is simply the out of bounds line at the back of each side of the net. These are the sidelines. The sideline is simply the out of bounds line on the outside or the left and right side of the net. This is the net itself. It divides the court in half and is approximately 5 feet in height. This is the short service line. The short service line highlights or outlines an area of the court called the no volley zone. We will talk about this in just a couple minutes. This is the center line. The center line divides the back half of each side of the net into two equal service courts. We'll talk more detail about this in just a minute as well. Now that you know the different lines on the court, let's talk about the different areas that those lines define. First of all, let's talk about the no volley zone. The no volley zone is highlighted for you here. It is the area in between the two short service lines, and this is where the net lives. Some people call the no volley zone the kitchen. The rules for the no volley zone are very simple. And they are, you simply cannot be inside the no volley zone when you make contact with the birdie. You must be behind the short service line when making contact with the birdie. A serve is not allowed to land in the no volley zone. We'll talk more about that when we talk about serving. These are the even service courts. The even service courts will be used when serving with an even score. If your score is an even number and you are the serving player, you will be serving from the even service court. However, if you are the serving player and your score is an odd number, you would then serve from the odd service court. You can see that the even service courts are on the right side of each side of the net, and the odd service courts are on the left side. This is, of course, as you are facing the net. Let's talk about a couple of definitions that are important to the game. First of all, the serve. The serve is a stroke that is used to put the birdie in play. You serve from an even service court when your score is even, and you serve from the odd service court when your score is odd. The serving team will continue to serve as long as they score points. It is potential that you could serve 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a row. Just depends on how good of a server you are and how talented the team on the other side of the net is. The serving team must rotate between serving when you are serving multiple times. So if you have an even score and you score a point, you will now have an odd score, which means you will now need to rotate to the odd service court and serve from the odd service court. You would continue to do this as long as you score points and as long as you continue to score. The receiving team does not rotate. A fault is any violation of the playing rules during the serve, while receiving the serve, or during the rally. A fault immediately ends the rally. A point is given to the team that does not fault. In other words, the team that wins the rally. Some examples or common examples of faults. A birdie that fails to cross the net on one hit, serving to the wrong service court, hitting the birdie out of bounds, and a serve that lands in the no volley zone would all be considered faults. They would end the rally, and a point would be given to the team that wins the rally. A rally is simply hitting the birdie back and forth between the two teams, hitting the birdie over back and forth over the net. This is what's really fun about the game. Let's take a look at a few examples that I have for you. You can see here that the red team is playing the blue team, and I have numbered each player 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this example, player number 1 is going to be serving the birdie. Because player number 1 is in the even service court, you can assume that the score is an even score. For example, maybe 0-0 or 2-1 or 4-3, etc., etc. If player one were to serve the birdie correctly, it would look something like this. Notice he's serving diagonally cross court, and the birdie is making it all the way to the opposite service court. This is an example of player one serving a fault. Because player one is now in the odd service court, you can assume that the score for the red team is an odd number. Player one, in this example, player number one serves the birdie, but the birdie lands in the no volley zone. This is not allowed and results in a fault for the red team. The blue team would score in this situation. In this situation, player number one is serving from the odd service court, and you can safely assume that the score for the red team is an odd number. Player number one incorrectly serves the birdie directly across the court to player number three. This is a fault and would result in a point for the blue team. In this situation, player one, again, serving from the odd service court, serves the birdie out of bounds. This is also a fault and would result in a point for the blue team. Let's say, for example, now the blue team has won the last point. The blue team, because they have won the last point, now earns the right to serve. Let's say the score in this situation is 4-2. Blue team has 4, red team has 2. Because the score for the blue team, which is 4, is an even number, player number 3 must serve from the even service court or the right service court as they face the net. Player 3 serves the birdie to player 1. Player 1 hits it to player 4. Player 4 hits it to player 1 again. Player 1 hits the birdie and it lands just over the net in the no volley zone right here. This would be a point for the red team because the blue team failed to return the birdie. Remember, the no volley zone is not out of bounds. It is in play. It is simply out of play on the serve. Because the birdie landed there on the rally, blue team is expected to return that birdie. Since they did not, red team now gets the right to serve. The score now is 3-4. Red team has 3. Blue team has 4. Player number 2 is serving. They are serving from the odd court because they have an odd number of points, 3-4. Player 3 serves the birdie to 4. Player 4 hits it back to player 2. Player 2 hits it to player 3. Player 3 hits it. It hits the net and drops in the no volley zone. This would be a point for the red team. Red team now gets to serve. However, the score now is 4-4. Player 2 continues to serve because they were the last serving player. They must serve from the even service court. So as you can see, these two teammates switch courts. Now player 2 serves it to player 3. Player 3 hits and the birdie lands on the line right there. In this situation, the blue team is going to score and they are going to earn the right to serve. The game will continue on this way until one of the teams scores 21 points and is winning by 2, in which case the game is over. I hope this little demonstration simulation has helped you see how the game of badminton is played. A quick YouTube search of the game of badminton would also help you immensely as far as learning how to play the game of doubles badminton. You may now attempt to complete the end puzzle. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me.